Hey, what's up, This is Steve, and you're watching Mochi Pop, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notifications, and for some odd reason, maybe it's you, maybe it's me, maybe it's Tay, maybe it's TXT's, Yeonjun's idea, I'm not sure, but for some odd reason, TXT's Yeonjun says K-pop boy bands are not as recognized as girl groups. Why is that? Let's find out. And this is the article here. So TXT's Yeonjun says K-pop boy bands are not as recognized as girl groups. It just seems, quote, it just seems like boy groups are less favorable by the public. And he may have a point. I'm not gonna back on this guy, you know? I mean, I'm sure he understands, why. But the truth is the truth. The truth is, even in America, boy bands since the 90s, right, have kind of been phasing out, right? Then you had the Backstreet Boys coming in. Then you had the NSYNCs. Then you had the 98 Degrees, all that, all those groups. You get and the girl groups, for some odd reason, just really did a good job with the marketing as well, with like Spice Girls, and there's not that many girl groups that came out. They had Destiny's Child, and there wasn't many of them, but they were pretty impactful when they came out, right? And I think the boy groups of America, for example, were pretty big, but they also phased out very quickly. But that includes girl groups. With Korea, I think girl groups and boy groups have always been pretty normal. Maybe it's a Western situation where boy groups aren't as popular. Maybe, who knows? So the point is, the point I'm trying to make is, boy groups are boy groups, girl groups are girl groups. But I think when it comes to the male audience, maybe we lean more towards the girl groups naturally, and maybe the females move towards the boy groups and the girl groups. So the girl groups have the dynamic of the male audience and the female audience, whereas the boy groups, they may have only for the most part the female audience, right? For the boy groups, which is a little bit more than half of the population, and the majority of people who are in K-pop, especially the Westerners, right? They're into K-pop too, and the majority of them are females. They're girls, right? Me, I'm just an observer, so it's not like I'm playing K-pop every day. I just react to videos on the internet, and I kind of learn about the industry because that's my goal, to be in the industry in some way. Maybe not K-pop, it's just in general, right? Just be a part of it, just be a part of something, right? And make my own mark on the entertainment industry. That's my goal. But for other people, they just like K-pop and they like listening to it. And they've listened to 12 albums a day. Maybe they did a little bit of Western, maybe a little of this, maybe a little bit of that. And you got the boy bands sitting here like, hey, we're here too, right? Those 80s. Where's BTS? BTS has destroyed in America. Maybe the men may not like BTS because they're not supposed to. BTS is geared more towards the female audience. And the males probably appreciate their artistic talents. So it's just kind of like how we used to look at Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson had the perfect formula because his dancing was so impressive. It didn't matter if it was a male or female fan. It's just like, if you like Michael Jackson, like, okay, then you're not a weirdo, right? But if you like BTS, maybe you're a little bit of a weird. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. This is just for the male audiences, guys, right? But as an observer, as a reaction person, as a news updates person, as a person who brings you the entertainment and the news and what's going on in the industry, I can say that, yeah, unbiasedly BTS and maybe Stray Kids, NTC, 2PM going old school, Shiny going old school, also Super Junior going old school, Shinhwa even more old school. Saw them in person too, and they're cool. Shinhwa's cool though. Like Shinhwa could be that group that, okay, guys gonna like because they just appreciate their longevity and they have the it factor enough and they're cool enough to be like, okay, Shinhwa, I can roll with Shinhwa. And BTS's side, maybe they had a little bit more have more of the feminine look, and other times they don't. So it depends on what music video you're looking at. Depends on how they're dancing, right? It depends on the style, right? So the girls will probably lean more towards BTS because they like that look. They have that one guy, that Indian guy who was making fun of BTS for being too I guess feminine looking, right? That's always been a thing with the industry with K-pop idols and J-pop idols and stuff like that. Asian idols in general, they just have a different look, and the culture's different. So maybe they're not as masculine as maybe a guy group like 98 Degrees in America, or NSYNC, right? Or Backstreet Boys, right? They're a boy group, but they're out just normal guys. Versus maybe Asia has a slightly different take on it, right? And again, it depends upon who's in the group. It depends upon the look. It depends upon the producers, what they want, right? But also, like the colored hair thing back from like a while ago, maybe 10 years ago, they started doing that. And to allow them to kind of tell them apart, allow people to tell them apart a little bit more, even within the Asian community, it was difficult, right? So they had that issue too. And I think like solo artists like B, for example, remember B, Rain? Saw him this year in person, first time. He's been off for a very long time, and he finally came to KCON. It was a huge deal. As they call him, the villain of K-pop now, right? I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's the housing situation. Maybe it's fraud. Who knows? They're rumors, all right? They're rumors. But B has brought it as a solo artist, and I think he was pretty well respected within the industry as in general. I used to watch B just to kind of like learn his dances a little bit back in the day. I'm not trying to date myself. I'm just saying. I was before my time. I was trying to figure out what this K-pop thing's about, right? What is this K-pop thing about? That was my curiosity, all right? Because I was already into J-pop at that point. So, excuse the noise if you guys hear it outside, but I'm just trying to say that the boy groups aren't as recognized because the dynamics aren't there with the girl groups, because girl groups naturally bring in both male and female, versus the male groups are designed, in my opinion, to bring in the males. Or males that maybe, the boy groups, did I say males? The boy groups are designed to bring in the females, and the girl groups are designed to bring in more of the males. And they have the dynamics of both, and the males just get the females for the most part. But the males, maybe the guys, boys, we're going to call them, K-poppers, who admire people like BTS or maybe react to them, they may know more about them because they're more mainstream. Then you have the ATs and the NTCs and the, all the others. You really have to take your time to explore these groups. And if you're a guy like myself, unless you do a reaction video, you may not be as prone to just like, I have to see the next NCT video as a guy, and yeah, so I think I can understand, I think what it is the dynamics of just the female audience. The female groups just have a better advantage of bringing both sexes in, and I think that's why maybe TXT's Yeonjun says K-pop boy bands are not as recognized as girl groups, or they're less favored by the public, and also it could be a cultural thing, right? So coming back to this article, I just want to rant a little bit, guys. Just so it says South Korean singer Yeonjun of boy band Tomorrow X Tomorrow, aka TXT, has opened up about the realities of the current K-pop landscape. And TXT member Yeonjun recently made an appearance on the online talk show Bam House, hosted by GOT7's Bam Bam. During his appearance on the program, the K-pop idol opened up about the difficulties he and his group face as a boy band as compared to girl groups. Again, I get it. I know boy bands work harder. I know they do. Just by being a guy, I know, right? Because it takes a lot, for one, to impress girls. And also, it takes a lot more to impress guys as a boy band. You got to bring something for us for men to pay attention on a more professional level, right? During the conversation, Bam Bam spoke about how it took quite a while for the K-pop generation to switch from the second generation to the third, while pointing out that this wasn't the case for newer generations of K-pop groups. And I think I saw something about maybe this article will continue talking about it, but yes, K-pop generations for boy groups and girl groups are, I've heard, so they say, are different, right? So you could have 7 generations in for the a girl group and maybe 4 generations in for the guy groups, four generations in, because they move slower simply because the dynamics are different, right? They're popping out girl groups all the time, just like a woman pops out babies, right? Just like a duck popping out eggs or something, right? The popping out girl groups left and right. You do see a lot of boy groups coming out, but they may not get as big or popular. They may take some time. I've seen them over the years since maybe when I was observing them around between 2013, 14, 15, a little bit more, kind of checking what's going on the scene. And BTS was coming out around 2013, 2014. They really had a lot of steam from the very beginning, and they really pushed them out to America. So they ended up in an award ceremony in 2017 in America on one of the big award shows. So they got more recognized, and around that same time, you had Blackpink destroying easily as a girl group. And I know for sure, like when I see Blackpink, I'm like, okay, easy money for them, right? Easy. They can leave. If they want to leave YG Entertainment, they can do it, right? Nobody cares, right? They'll be fine. Either way, in my opinion. YG needs them, so they better get it together. BTS, I always feel like they're in hype, but maybe they're not. I'm not sure. But BTS, they're just that good that they got recognized by both sexes at some point. You got the guys reacting. You got, even black guys like myself reacting, right? They got people's attention because the trend of K-pop began, in my opinion, the official trend of K-pop began with BTS and Blackpink in America, at the very least, in the West. Now, I can't say the same thing about Europe per se, but I can say it about the US. And we go back to Gangnam Style. I mentioned one of my videos, find some of my shorts. Gangnam Style has set the bar for K-pop just in general. The style, the excitement, the humor, that's kind of stuff the Western people like humor, right? I'm just saying, and I think Asians do too. So they can come together with that. So I think if a boy, like at least artist, a guy artist comes out and he's more humorous, like Gangnam Style, that might be a bigger hit just because of the kind of irony of it. And I think it also could be like, because if the boy bands are too serious, it may not work either, right? They're trying so hard, and it just looks like they're trying so hard to impress everybody. And they have the skills, but girl groups don't have to do that. They just need to look cute and just have enough skill and the dynamics of their looks and stuff like that, and their cutesy stuff. Girls and guys both like that, right? The same reason why girls like to dress up in anime characters and stuff like that. They like it. They like dressing. Girls like dressing up as them. They want to be them. Guys like to simp on them, right? Just kidding. But the simps coming out here. Come simps, you simps, right? I don't blame you though. But I'm just kidding. I get it. I get the dynamics. And so the girl groups have that advantage. They have that simp advantage. And they have the beauty advantage that girls. If a girl group came out with a beauty product, one of the group, maybe Suzy, right? Check out my reaction for Suzy. All right, if Suzy from Sweet, I think it's Sweet Dream. If Suzy came out, or Dream Sweet, I think Suzy came out with a product like this. It was her product. Let's say she made it herself, kind of like what Kim Kardashian and all the other people from the West did, right? And Kylie Jenner, right? Maybe Taylor Swift. Maybe Nicki Minaj. She did the exact same thing. I think she would get a lot more attention because it's her product for one, and it's Suzy. People know Suzy. Suzy's from a girl group. She has the dynamics. She may need to get out there a little bit more before she does that. But I'm just saying, like, she's been out for a long time. But if she's trying to market to the U.S., it might be a little more difficult. So she may need to maybe team up with Lisa from Blackpink or something. But the point is, it'll be easier. Now, BTS might be able to do it as well if they come out with a clone, or like they probably do already, collaborate with other companies like Samsung, maybe Dior, what's it called? That cologne, right? And they can do the same thing. So I think that the K-pop industry has so much potential, and I think this guy TXT's Yeonjun, he's right, and now it's their chance to figure out like, okay, what can we do to make ourselves stand out as an individual group, let alone a boy band group, right? So if you generalize a boy band groups in general, I get it. Like they're not as like maybe as like huge as some of the girl groups as a whole. You can only like recognize BTS, maybe GOT7 back in the day, and maybe Super Junior. They've really proven themselves, and they're a huge group too, and they just have a lot of talent. And also they're like what, first maybe second generation Super Junior. It depends on what year you're talking about, because like I said, we had Shinhwa back in the 90s. So what, it depends on what do you mean by generations and when did that generation start? Did it start around 2007 or does it start in 1990, right? And there wasn't a lot of boy bands probably as much in the 90s and the early 2000s as now. And Shinhwa, I think, was probably more the first generation to me. And then they had a lot of solo artists like Rain and Seven, right? Back in 2007, 5, all those days. At least that's when I was listening to this, 2006, whatever, right? You had a lot of solo artists that were really big, and then boy groups weren't as big as now. They had more solo artists as males, in my opinion. And then you had the Shinhwas, and then you had maybe TBXQ, right? And then they ended up with two guys. I'm not sure what happened with that in 2011 after SM live performance in Madison Square Garden with the Girls' Generation, Super Junior, and all the other groups that came out. So you had that dynamic. You had the dynamic of the solo artists. You had the dynamic of the girl artists. I think the 2010s was a really crazy time because just a lot of things were transitioning. And, between 2010 and probably 13, there's been a lot of transition. You had the FX coming out. You had the Susie's already killing it. You got the Dream Highs. You got the 2 PMs coming out from 2008 to 10, 13, 14. You know what I mean? And then you come up with the BTS in 2000 around maybe 13. They came and destroyed in 2017 at the Rhodes Award ceremony. And, again, There are good groups. It's just the male Western audience may not be as interested in BTS as maybe even the Korean. Maybe the Koreans aren't as interested in BTS compared to the girls are. But the males are more likely to go to a female concert, like a girl group concert, right? Because they like girls. It's just that simple. And girls like other girl groups, and boys like other girl groups, right? Girl groups like other girl groups, and vice versa. So I think it's just really more. The males are very, very specific of what they like. The guys, whatever, and the girls just like everything. They're just like, okay, if it's music, I'm gonna listen to it. They're very open to the idea of really admiring girl groups and boy groups more so than the guys, especially, right? Because they're girls. Makes sense. Boy groups have always been a girls thing, even back in 1998 in America. We had the boy groups coming out. And then you had Britney Spears coming out as a solo artist, for example, right? The boys and the girls liked her, right? Because she was a girl. And the girls want to be her. The guys want to date her. So, so continuing here, let's see. It's been a class, switch generation, third. Yeah, so he mentioned the generation to switch from the second generation to the third, while pointing out that this wasn't the case for newer generations of K-pop groups. If it definitely wasn't like that from the third generation to the fourth, it switched in the blink of an eye, didn't it? How does it feel like to be an active in the industry? How does it feel like to be active in the industry as part of the fourth generation? Bam Bam asked per BSB Star. Yeonjun then opened up about how he feels that being part of K-pop's fourth generation is quite hard, especially when it comes to boy bands. It just seems like boy groups are less favored by the public. That leads to us not being as recognized as girl groups as well, he said. If you take a look at all the top 100 songs on music charts of South Korean streaming services, you'll see most of them are songs by girl groups, not boy groups. Yeonjun pointed out that, I mean, their songs are great. I can't deny that, but there are lots of good songs by boy groups too. That makes me a little sad. Oh, that is sad. I feel for him, you know. Continuing, so far in 2023, only one K-pop boy band has topped the Circle Digital charts, South Korea's equivalent of the Billboard 100 Hot 100. NCT 127 reached the peak of the chart in February with Ayo, right? Yeah, and I just did a reaction video on that group. They're pretty good. Other artists that have topped the Circle Digital chart this year are girl groups. New Jeans, very good name, by the way. Good marketing. Gotta have a good marketing. With Ditto and Super Shy. Good marketing with the title too, in my opinion. IVE with Kitsch, Kitsch, and I Am, which I loved, like Pepsi collaboration. It was so good, guys. Very well done, very well produced. You guys got to get some good producers in these boy groups. And G Idol, Queen Card, which I did react to it. Check it out. Sibling duo AKMU, Lovely, and trot singer Lim Young, Grain of Sand. So, I mean, yeah, these girl groups have been killing it. It's true. Like, New Jeans has destroyed. Super Shy, you got the IVE with the I Am. You guys got to watch that reaction video. Watch that reaction video with IVE, I Am, and see how good that music video is. The sound, so well done. So perfectly infused with the Pepsi sound. Kind of reminds me of those old Britney Spears music videos, right? With the Pepsi commercials. And G Idol's Queen's Card was just, they killed it. We're gonna just say New Jeans, Super Shy, right? Super Shy. I mean, and again, I think what it is the girl groups have just better marketing overall, in my opinion. Now, I would say 80s maybe exceptional in that area. BTS exceptional, but I just think it's us all about the marketing, right? At the end of the day, marketing is king when it comes to how you're going to present your groups. And I think marketing does come with really good catchy songs, and the girl groups have really been good at that. And NCT's been good too, though, right? That's why they got hit the top of the charts. NCT 127. What about NCT Dream? Where are they? What about BTS? Where have they been? I know I think two or more have gone to the military, but they've killed it in the West. So who cares, right? He had Gangnam Style back in the day. 500 million views, guys. 500 million views. Beating Justin Bieber, the biggest boy solo artist since Justin Timberlake. Right? And before that, maybe Usher and Michael Jackson, right? Get my point. So I'm just saying, like, the songs from New Jeans has been pretty good. IVE has been just destroying. A few members coming up from It's Zone. Remember the It's Zone? So a few members came from that. And he got a G Idol Queen Card. And I reacted to it. It was one of my first reaction videos when I started this channel. And again, I don't know what to say. So, yeah, you have these amazing groups coming out every year. And, you know, like, the pumping them out, like SM, like YG, like JYP, Hybe labels, maybe a little bit of Avex collaboration with Japan, right? Got the what's that girl group from Japan? I reacted to. Anyway, you get my point. With Avex, it was, what is that group called? I can't think of that group right now. My mind's like XG. Yes, XG. There you go. And XG from Avex been destroying. Did you see that? Did you see Avex? They're just going like, what? I don't even know what's going on in the music video. I don't care. Because they were killing it. They had good style. They had good optics. There you go. And maybe I think if NCT has a good style because they're very colorful. They're a very colorful group, right? They had the like one time they had this comic style. I think it was them. I think it was them or someone else. Maybe it was either Stray Kids, NCT, one of those two, right? They're both marketing. They have really good marketers when it comes to their style and look. So and then you have, come back to this YouTube video, and he's talking about, okay, telling the truth, like, hey, there's something wrong with the boy groups, right? They're having a dinner, talking, and I'm just saying, maybe he has a point. Maybe there's something they can do about it. Maybe he can have a meeting with all the boy groups and figure out how do we convince our producers to do better. I think ATIZ might be a good one to look up to as well, because they've been out since 2017. I think I discovered that recently, and they got the swords and all this other cool stuff that they do in their concerts. I'm like, okay. And then you got NCT, they're very colorful. You got Stray Kids, they're very colorful, right? BTS is kind of like in between. They're kind of like just normal, but they're just really good, and they're just amazing dancers. And most boy groups have to rely on really good dancing, but they need something else. They need something else, right? What is that something else? Comment below, guys. What do you think the boy groups need to get everybody's attention? Or should there be boy groups at all? Maybe the majority of boy artists should be solo. Maybe like B and 7 back in the day. And people, maybe there's a lot of people who become solo from a group, and that's fine. Are they more successful that way? And should they change their style a little bit? Maybe a little bit more of a masculine style. Maybe that would bring in some guys and girls, kind of like the dynamics with the girl groups. They're feminine. They bring in the guys and the girls because they're more feminine. The boy groups, although maybe slightly in between, but they kind of go more towards the Shinhwa masculine feel as well. And the B he's more masculine too, and then the way his style is. But you got the guy groups. They're also masculine, but they also have that kind of femininity as well. So it's just a mixture of it. Maybe that turns off certain guys, right? Like myself, I probably would lean more towards the masculine feel to it. If I could feel like, okay, he's a cool dancer. He's maybe does that break dancing style. Maybe he has a cool Shinhwa feel to it. I'm mentioning Shinhwa because they're a good example of that. It's just a kind of more like just a perfect group that I can look up to if I want to have a group, right? I want to create a group, right? One of these days. But the point is, so people have their opinions. I just think it's just the dynamics of not the overall population not being interested in boy bands for reasons. I think it's just the dynamics between male and female and how the male groups are being promoted, in my personal opinion, and the marketing behind it, what their style is, how their hair is, do they have too much makeup, maybe they need less makeup, maybe they just need better optics, maybe they need maybe they need more stories, maybe they need to be more serious, maybe more like make a whole series just with that group. They all have to learn how to act and like Super Junior did, kind of, and just kind of go into different areas, which they do, but maybe go a step further and really create something big with those groups. And I want history to be made, right? I feel like they pop up groups so fast, they don't really take time with the BTSs of the world. You know what I mean? Like they did with BTS. They took time with BTS, in my opinion. They probably did, right? You don't have to really, just like what Disney had problems with Marvel and Disney Plus, and then you come to the Korean dramas, they were killing it because they actually have good writers, right? So with the K-pop groups, they have good songs, but they need better marketing. They need to focus on what exactly is going to make this K-pop group special, right? If all the K-pop groups are the same, of course the boys are going to be left out. The girl groups are barely surviving too, by the way, right? But New Jeans is just killing it. I'm just saying. And I can't say anything bad about IVE. I just can't. Right? I think IVE can probably get a little bit better, up there, right? But I think they have potential. I think they could be that girls' generation group that I've always wanted. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys like that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and we will be back for more news, updates, rants like this one. Until next time. Peace.